Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Brendan and my channel is Life Through Leaves. This is my Booktube newbie tag. So this is my very first video for the channel and I'm excited to join the Booktube community with this. And it's been long awaited for me. I've been thinking about doing it for a long time, so I'm happy to give this a shot. So I have some questions here for the Booktube newbie tag that's been going around for years now, I think. So I hope you forgive me. I'm going to be looking down to look at the questions and so I can answer them. All right, so let's just start it off. First question is, why did you start this channel? Well, I found that after I was reading, I really wanted to talk about the books. So, of course, I didn't have too many people in person to talk about these books with. So I decided, hey, let's search online. And so I started perusing YouTube and seeing what people are talking about, trying to join in on the conversations there, and going to Discord, finding people that are interested in books there as well. And from there, that kind of just made me interested in trying this, along with some peer pressure. I have a friend that I met through Discord. His name's John. I'm just going to give him a shout out here because he's the one who peer pressured me to make this channel. And so here I am trying it out, and I'm excited to give it a shot. And thank you, John, for the peer pressure. It worked. So the second question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? This one's kind of a dull answer, I think, but I don't really think I have anything very unique to bring. I'm not a flashy person. I just kind of read. I like my solitude, as do I think a lot of readers. But I would say in terms of uniqueness, I just think that there's no one else out there besides me, and just like everyone else. There's unique people reading books out there they're unique because there's no one else like them in the world. And so I think just in that regard, maybe it's a little cliche. There's not another Brendan talking about books out there. So at least I hope not. I haven't met my doppelganger yet, so we'll see. The next question is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? I think just what the purpose of the channel is, just talking about the books I'm reading. I talk to my wife a little bit about the books, but it's more, I'm excited to get out there, to get online and talk about everything that I'm reading with everyone else. And I think that's the biggest excitement I have for this channel. Why do you love reading? So this is going to be, I like this question because books literally did change my life quite a bit. I looked into it as a hobby at first. I wasn't a reader as a kid, willingly, just kind of going through school and reading what I had to read for that. But I never had an interest to read until 2021, so 4 years ago. The new Dune movie was coming out. And my friend was like, hey, you should try reading the book Dune by Frank Herbert before the movie comes out. The book is incredible, and it would really make your experience better when you watch the movie. Or, some adaptations are pretty bad, but I think in Dune's case, they nailed it. However, that was where it started, and it kind of blew up from there. And so I loved Dune. I read it in like 4 days, 600-page book in 4 days because I loved it so much. And so I was like, wow, that was a really enjoyable experience. And it just kind of started from there. And I just got into sci-fi and fantasy books, genre fiction, and stuff like that. And then eventually my friend gave me a copy of Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil. And he was like, hey, you're a curious person, check this out. I read it. I didn't understand really pretty much anything at all, but what I did get out of it was so interesting to me, and that was kind of my foray into nonfiction, and that's kind of where that started. That was about a year after Dune, and so that was fun to get into nonfiction. And I've always been a curious person. I've always been very mechanical, And so just getting into philosophy, like nonfiction philosophy, was kind of where everything changed for me, because it changed my perspective so much on reading and everything there. So that's why I love reading, and that's why my channel name is Life Through Leaves, because it's life through the leaves of a book. It's I love reading so much. It's a staple of my life. It's no longer a hobby. It's what my life is for the most part. Anytime I don't read, for long stints of time, if I get busy, I could definitely tell I haven't read because I enjoy it. So yeah, that's why I love it. What book or series got you into reading? It's just Dune. Just going back to that, Dune. When I was a kid, I guess I read Goosebumps books. Those were the only books that were actually interesting to me. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess for now, after Dune, what really blew up sci-fi for me, I have to give it a mention because it's my favorite sci-fi book, is The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. That book really showed me what great writing was, in the genre of sci-fi. Le Guin is a master writer. So that blew things up for me, and yeah, the interest kept going. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I don't really have too many questions other than, I don't know, like what it was like to start your channel and what that process looked like. I've asked some people already about that before doing this video. And yeah, and then I guess like what their favorite books are of all time, stuff like that. But that's just general recommendations, so. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I think actually sitting my butt down in this chair and staring at a camera and talking to a camera. It's not something I usually do outside of work. And so, yeah, just this performance, I'm not used to it. So there's definitely a barrier to entry for me. I'm not used to doing this. So getting past that mental barrier of, hey, go record a video on a book that you read or anything like that. So just the action of recording is going to be, I think, the most difficult for me. When did you start reading? So I kind of already answered it. Yeah, I pursued reading back in 2021. And I hope that's the right year. I might be making a fool of myself. I'm pretty sure that was the year the Dune movie came out. If not, might be 2022. So, whatever. You can fact check me on that. But yeah, that's when I started, like, seriously reading outside of, college and school. Where do I read? So right here, there's a chair that I have, and we just actually got this going down here in where I live, and yeah, that's pretty much always where I read. I don't like to read in bed. I'm not much of a reader in bed. I don't like being horizontal and reading. I don't like sitting in bed and reading. It's just not for me. I try to read outside sometimes just to get out, and that usually goes okay, but I get distracted by the squirrels or whatever if I'm out back. I will camp and read at times, but even then I'm still enjoying my surroundings for the most part. So mostly just at home. I don't like to read on the go either. I don't like to read while I'm traveling or anything like that. I just get distracted too easy, so I just need a quiet place to sit down and focus on the words. What kind of books do you like to read? Well, my favorite genre, if you want to say it that way, of reading now is nonfiction philosophy, and usually primary works, but I just any of it's really good. I guess I don't really like the philosophy for dummies or the productivity philosophy as much. I used to kind of be into that, but after I ended up reading the source material for that type of book or reading, I just kind of got into that. I enjoy reading those books. Sorry. Let me say it differently. I enjoy having read those books, But I will say a lot of those books are not fun to read, and I can see why philosophy isn't the most exciting subject to people. Uh, but it's just so much food for thought, and I like to sit there and think and overthink a little bit, write down notes, and talk to other people about it. There's just so much in a philosophy book for the most part, and that's why it's my favorite. But besides that, it would be nonfiction history is next. For I'm just kind of ranking from my favorite to least favorite. Least favorite. They're all my favorite. Um, yeah, so it goes philosophy and then history. So nonfiction history. I like fictional history too. I read Wolf Hall earlier this year with some friends, and that was really interesting. Really good book. And from there, I would say sci-fi. Mostly sci-fi, a little bit of fantasy for just kind of casual reading, just chilling. I still enjoy that quite a bit. Favorite book there is still Ursula K. Le Guin, the Dispossessed. Let's see, what else? Science, fiction science is, or sorry, non-fiction science is okay. I love science, but I would say that's probably my least favorite, like I said. But yeah, so those are my favorite. But I'll read. I would. Well, let me add that I will read anything if I find it interesting. I got a little bit into literature this year. I'm reading Moby Dick pretty soon with a friend, John. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. What does your book collection look like? Well, it's right behind me, so you're seeing it. Just pretend that it goes another like 6 or 7 feet in that direction, and it ends just right here. So that's pretty much it. It's about, it'd be like 7 foot tall of books, and it's mostly filled. So yeah, and I have some room for it, which is kind of bad for the wallet, but got to get that fix. All right, so thank you for watching this. I appreciate it, and go ahead and drop a comment. Well, I would like to talk to some new people in the community, and if you're not in the community still, right? I'd love to talk to anyone out there who shares this passion for books and reading. All right, thank you.